Hello, everyone. First off, you've all been sat here. I usually start presentations like this, recognizing that usually I'm sat there and I start to get nodding dog syndrome. So if you want to, if you are able, take this opportunity, have a little bit of movement, stand up, have a little shake, sit back down, because I want you to all pay attention to what I've got to say, because hopefully it's going to be interesting and enlightening. So my name's Holly Foxcroft. I've been in and around the industry for quite a few years now. If I total it all up back to my Royal Navy days, it actually takes me to over 15 years. My experience started out in electronic warfare, moving into cyber warfare and cyber capability, where I did a bit of a sidestep, and where some of you will mostly know me from is more about the neurodiversity side, including my academic research into understanding neurodiversity with regards to a catalyst towards cybercrime, and understanding neurodiversity with regards to cybersecurity posture. And along the way, I've dipped my toe into academia, education, delivering education about cybersecurity, but also within the social sciences. I hold a degree in criminology and cybercrime, which is very bizarre. Not a lot of people have ever put those two together, but it's actually fabulous. There's a great book actually about understanding the hacker mindset. You may understand, you may know it. Sarah can tell you where to get that from. She wrote it. Yeah, I have academic research in understanding the criminological side of cybercrime, and I want to start applying that now to cybersecurity culture. The C word is culture, just so we are all clear from this point. So, what is cybersecurity culture? We are all talking about it. It seems like I haven't been at a conference where the culture talk or cybersecurity culture isn't not being spoken about. It's almost level with AI at the moment. But do we actually know what is cybersecurity culture? Is it just how the security team function and what they want for the business? Is it organisationally, how everyone else feels about cybersecurity? Now, I want to look at it as a bit of a blend. It's a bit of a blend of both of them, because rightly so, both of those examples are true. It is about the cybersecurity team and how they're setting expectations, but it's also about organisational. How do they feel about cybersecurity? How do they feel about regulations? How do they feel about, and I'm going to say it before he gets an opportunity, computer says no. Sorry, I had to. Don't tell him I said it. So culture in itself is mainly about the customary beliefs, social norms, or material traits between either social groups, religious groups. So when we're talking about cybersecurity, again, it is very much about cybersecurity beliefs. How we act online, and both how we use technology. Why? Because we've got to protect what matters. Protect what matters within the organisation, but also to ourselves. If we can embed the right security behaviours and right security users, then we're on to a winning cybersecurity culture and create an effective line of defence for an organisation. Now, why are humans so important? When we're talking about culture, it's not about the technology side of cybersecurity culture. When we're talking about cybersecurity culture, we're not just talking about what tech we're using and how it's going to protect us and save the day. Ultimately, humans are really central to the part of this conversation. Now, I've put some statistics up behind me, and I don't think we can truly either rely or look at these statistics to be fact. I think really humans are ultimately going to always be at the result of a cybersecurity breach, whether malicious intent or just by accident. However, that doesn't mean that we're the weakest link. It doesn't mean we're the ones to blame and everyone's got to look at us as the bad guys. But no, humans are fundamentally central to understanding cybersecurity culture, which is why I want to break down this talk into 4 different areas. It's really small. Right, let's see. Here we go. So first off, I want to talk about cyberpsychology. Not new, but a forming area of psychology which looks into how we understand our relationship with technology and the cyberspace itself. I want to talk about cybercriminology, because I spent an awful lot of money getting letters after my name, so I can talk about these sort of things. But also, I think it's fundamental, as I said, to understand behaviours, not just those which are intently malicious, but how we are bypassing security controls and how that is also going to feed into our cybersecurity culture. And then I want to talk about AI's impact. How is AI going to impact both cybersecurity culture and user behaviours? And then, of course, give you all some tips or tricks into how we can start understanding and addressing this in our own organisations. So, cyberpsychology. Is anyone, just show of hands, is anyone really interested in cyberpsychology? Oh, hopefully I know a bit more than you, or we're on the same page. But cyberpsychology is a discipline of social science which specifically looks at how we as humans have a relationship with technology, the cyberspace, and how we interact with others, but also our beliefs, how we're receiving information, our preference to receiving information now. Who gets that dread when someone calls you? Just text me. That's my preference now. It can all be done in a text message or WhatsApp, preferably. But cyberpsychology is understanding these relationships. Other disciplines within understanding cyberpsychology, and ones I've been particularly looking at, is internet addiction. How we are addicted without realising we're actually addicted to technology. But we're okay at looking at the younger generation and saying, you're addicted to technology, whilst we're also sub-scrolling, looking at different things and notifications coming in left, right, and centre. But how is this going to how can we look at this with regards to cybersecurity culture? Let's look at cognitive biases. Unfortunately, I never have enough time on this stage, and Sarah literally sometimes has to kick me off at the end. So I'm only going to focus on 3 here, but there are over 57 cognitive biases. First of all, our confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when we think we know something, or we have a slight inclination, and we just want to confirm that. How can this be a security risk? It means that we ignore. We ignore security risks. Oh, it will never happen to us. That doesn't happen to our sector. We're not big enough for somebody to take our organisation or want to have any interest in our organisation. But also, in spreading dis and misinformation, confirmation bias is extremely dangerous in this context. When we think we know something and we start to read more material in that understanding, that we then start to develop further beliefs. Our anchoring bias, which is over-relying on initial information. This is your default security settings or what somebody has told you, or you just assume. You assume competency. Unfortunately, due to technology, we don't question enough anymore. We just assume that it's there, it's okay. Someone said online on Facebook that if I share this status, then Facebook doesn't have the privacy rights to steal all my photos, and I'm going to believe that. So we don't question enough. So relying on our anchoring bias. And this one is, I think, something that we don't have enough in security teams, but it's something that our leadership teams have. Oh, it's fine, we've got a security department, we pay them loads of money, we're fine, we're not getting hacked. I don't need to be involved in this conversation. The overconfidence bias. This can actually be teamed with all of these. The anchoring bias, in that you're just relying on others, that it hasn't got to, you're not pinpointed into the center of this conversation, and confirmation bias, just because someone said it so, then it is, that's truth. User experience, UX design. Why is this central to cybersecurity culture? Now, I'm not a digital native, but I am lecturing individuals who are starting to be digital natives. They are used to receiving information in bright, shiny formats that they can quickly swipe if it's not to their liking. How old, I'm just going to do a show of hands, how old do you think a person becomes a digital citizen? If you think it is 10, raise your hand. Okay. If you think it is 13, raise your hand. Okay. If you think it's 2, raise your hand. 2 years old. 2 years old is when now an individual starts using digital technology, whether it just be technology standalone or be online. I'm going to really show a vulnerability here and admit that my 3-year-old knows how to open YouTube. She also knows my passcode. Or failing that, if I've changed it, she knows that she can just hold my phone up to my face. Oh, dear me. But what is that now going to tell us? If we look at it through psychologically in terms of how we like to receive information and how we like to do things, how we like to work, how we like to socialize, is that technology and the cyberspace are fundamental to that. When anyone in my schools where I teach and I support as a cybersecurity lead for the Portsmouth Education Partnership, the one question I always get from my students is, tell me about the dark web. What's on there? And the first thing I say is it's just a really old internet. There's nothing special. And I use screen grabs to actually show them what does it look like. And it is basically an old internet. Now, if we go on there, it's actually going to frustrate us a bit, isn't it? It's actually not user-friendly. Now, when we're looking at security awareness materials, if it's not user-friendly, or if anything that we use technology-wise isn't user-friendly, we then start to bypass it. We then start to not use it. We don't want to. So UX design needs to be central. Make your security controls easy to understand and use. Do not presume competence. Even if somebody has said they've got experience, still from day one, make sure that they understand your security measures, regardless. Clear and concise messaging. This one now seems like it's well, yeah, of course. But is it clear to you as a technical audience, or is it clear to Barry in accounts? Now, Barry in accounts, his job may be to open up invoices all day and every day, which means he's going to have that anchoring bias that he is safe to do so. What Barry in accounts is also doing is that's actually feeding into his personal life. And he's starting to take emails home with him. And he's now starting to open emails on a personal device that you actually don't have visibility over. But because he's, one, presuming competency, because you've said it's fine, Barry, we've got this in place and you're fine to open emails, but you haven't actually looked at how else he's using technology, we're then coming back to that bias understanding that how that cognitive bias is playing part. And another one, positive reinforcement. Who doesn't like a big shiny gold badge when they've done something quite special? Unfortunately, a lot of security training and a lot of messages from the IT team tend to be quite negative. We tend to sometimes be the bad guys, the cybersecurity. We're the, again, computer says no. I wonder how many other keynotes are going to try and get that one in. I think it is going to be a theme of the day. But rewarding behavior, not just when it's a test. Reward behavior just as a go. Oh, this is great, you've done that, well done. To reinforce good security behavior and security outcomes. I went a slide ahead. Let's talk more about security awareness. So, how do you deliver security awareness training? Is it a one shop and done? Is it, oh, it's October, let's pull it out what we've done before. Let's invite someone in to come and talk about all the dark and depths of the dark web and who's trying to hack into our systems. It needs to go through fluid throughout your year, and it needs to look differently. As Jen mentioned, based on your maturity, but also based on your capacity, what can you do? First thing you can do, this is the best Canva could give me for a tabletop. I thought it was quite good. Simulation exercises. Simulation exercises actually test where you are. Now, you can do them in-house, you can do them sat round, each swap round roles, get somebody to write, ChatGPT can do it for you, can write out a simulation exercise to test your maturity, but advice here would be actually get someone else involved who can put in some laser beams and make it quite exciting. But making it realistic to you and your organisation, but also pinpointing at what are they looking for? What would a security attack look like? Or just an outage. Doesn't always have to be a malicious outsider trying to get in. It could be that vendor. Are we still talking about that? I'm not sure if we're still talking about the CrowdStrike and what's going to happen. But it doesn't always have to be a hack. Third, gamification, and this is coming back into UX design. I'm not a gamer. I did use like Tekken when I was a kid, and Crash Bandicoot. However, how our brains like to receive information, we are all a bit competitive. I am very competitive. No, my family won't even play Monopoly with me anymore. However, gamification makes things fun. So if you are looking at rolling out programs that aren't through the year and embedding in just user behavior every day, but you're looking to run a program, look at how you can make it through gamification. And social engineering awareness. This is one of my big ones, because when we talk about cybersecurity, we automatically always think technology, technology, technology. But it's not. Unfortunately, we're not good humans, and outside, there's even worse ones who are trying to get information from us, as Jen said, people on the train. I absolutely love shoulder surfing. It is one of my favorite things to do. I purposely look out for opportunities to be mischievous, especially at places like this. However, there are going to be individuals within your organizations who are more vulnerable and open to these sorts of attacks. Now, my timer's gone off. Does that mean I was only set for 10 minutes? Oh, cybercriminology, 5 minutes, right. Cybercriminology. So this is an emerging area of criminology and social science, and it looks to understand the motives, beliefs, behaviours behind why people commit crime, but also understanding more towards not just it's crimes of passion, more towards less towards understanding just the core reasons, but more understanding the social side of sociology side, the psychology side. Because what we're seeing with cyber criminology is it is existing to no other criminological theories 100%. So I've picked out my favourite ones. Routine activity theory. This is a theory that I actually looked to addressing understanding neurodivergence as a catalyst towards cybercrime. This theory looks at crime occurs when three elements converge: a motivated offender, a suitable target, and absence of guardian. Your motivated offender, you can look for a hacker, you can look for a disgruntled employee, a criminal seeking financial gain. But this disgruntled employee is the big one. A suitable target. Valuable data, financial gain, sensitive information, vulnerable systems, or your boss. And then the absence of a guardian. When we're looking at this in terms of young offenders, the absence of guardian is because they're upstairs on their computer and mum and dad don't know what they're doing upstairs. When we're looking at it in terms of organisational, absence of guardian can look like more weak security measures, lack of employee training, and insufficient monitoring or behaviour analytics of how and what people are doing to your systems. Here come the funny memes. This is meant to, Sarah's coming and I'm not finished. When the boss is coming and you need to pretend you're doing something. So you need to ensure that all communications are positive and actionable. Use words like do this and consider that. I've really got to rush through this. Your social learning theories, another one that I've researched. Look at your environment. Behaviours are learned from others. Observation, we see how others do things. and the power of influence if people tell you to do things through the hierarchy of who they are in the business. The insider threat here is social learning can play a role in how employees develop attitudes towards organizational security, potentially leading to risky behaviors or malicious actions. Oh, this is just how we do it. We're supposed to do it this way, but this is how I do it because it gets it done quicker. And IT don't know if we use this. And always say please and thank you. Sorry, I had to get that one in. Now, what is the impact of AI? Sarah, I'm going to walk here because it's going to give me longer before you kick me off. What is the impact of AI? Now, because I am quite short on time, there is one that I really want to share with you that I'm going to be spending a lot of time this year in trying to understand and educate organizations, which is going to be shadow AI attacks. We are all using AI. We are using AI to be more productive. We are using AI to support how we work, where we work, and to streamline. How many of you have told your organizations that you're using AI? If it's not obvious enough already. But how many of you have got AI apps like the productivity ones, such as Motion AI, that help you in supporting productivity and streamlining events and tasks? Because Motion AI also has access to all of your emails, all of your attachments, all of your browsing history. It also records how you do things, and it stores it in a central server that's in Lithuania. I think we're going to start to see a rise in shadow AI attacks because we are using AI to support us. But unfortunately, with regards to culture, we're not going to tell anyone we're using these AI because we just want to look like we're doing a fantastic job all of the time. And ultimately, collaboration. Cybersecurity culture requires collaboration outside of your IT and security teams. And whose job is it? Look at behaviour analytics. Look at influencers already in your organisation that may not be in the cybersecurity team, but you can pull them in through their power of positive communication. Quick! Before she comes. I'm being dragged off like little Bo Peep, as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.